YouTube fucking link. I was gonna have a legitimate like background and shit today, but I fucking forgot. I don't know, I fucked up.
Damn.
Uh,
Man, you done fucked up.
you done fucked up. All right. One more little edit. Review of UFC 273, not a preview. That's for fucking sure. All right. And back to my little. I'm sharing it to these groups real quick. Alrighty. We are up, running. Okay. Welcome to the Common Chaos Podcast. This is the working class violence version of the show. I am joined by my good buddy, Jordan Modro. What is up, Jordan? How are you, man?
Doing good, man.
Good.
Recovering. I
Good.
was
Good.
I was a long night.
It was a long night indeed. For those of you that are unaware, we are reviewing and previewing UFC 273. We had 2 episodes leading up to last night's UFC 273 fights that took place from Jacksonville, Florida. You can go check those out at the website, podcast. Obviously, you're listening to it on YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff. You guys should be able to find it. So, last night was UFC 273. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alerts are coming, but you've been living under a rock. You really should know what is going on. Let me throw up a couple different things for you guys. Boom. We got the review going. As always, let's get the formalities out of the way. Keep yourself healthy. Keep yourself in shape. Keep yourself looking great and give back to great causes, guys. Support the podcast by reaching out to one of our sponsors and picking up some of their products. The first one's going to be Fightback CBD. You can check them out at fightbackcbd.com. You can save 20% on all their items, whether it be a rash guard, their CBD supplements, their roll-on applications, their bath bombs, their brand new BCAA formula that you can use during your workouts. Whatever they got, you guys can save 20% in proceeds. Go to those, go to sponsoring those in recovery or on the path of rehabilitation. You guys should check out my episode 59 with Justin McClenny. He is the owner and founder of Fightback CBD and a fellow jiu-jitsu practitioner and MMA nut. He's a huge MMA fan. We talked a bunch of fight stuff, a bunch of wrestling too. He's a huge wrestling nerd, and he's an all-around great guy. He started Fightback CBD so he could give back to the community. He himself is on the journey of recovery and understands the importance of a support system, and we talk about that ad nauseum through both shows here at Common Chaos. And I Hate the Scene, of course, because recovery is prevalent in both. So, give back to a good cause, help someone in need, and get some great products at great rates. And stay healthy, guys. Fightbackcbd.com. Save 20% by using the promo code chaos. Let's get it, Jordan. You can do that on screen, sir, like a man. Thank you.
No, I didn't even mean it. It
You
just so
can.
happened to work out that way.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Go ahead and rip it while I read this next read. You ready? Boom.
I'll take my vitamins.
PhoenixFit.com. There you
Cheers.
go. PhoenixFit.com. Phoenix Fit is one of the fastest rising gyms in the United States, based out of Utah. They are not only a gym, but they are also a supplement and fitness apparel company. They are completely 100% manufactured and produced here in the United States of America, and they are an amazing brand. You guys can get some top of the line premium supplements at a discounted rate by using the promo code CHAOSFNX. They've got supplements, they've got gym gear, they've got gym apparel, they've got duffel bags, backpacks, accessories, all the shit you need. Their fucking pre-workout I can't talk about enough. They have a phenomenal AM and PM version of proteins. Jordan, check this shit out. Their AM protein has a bunch of like green tea extract and caffeine or like coffee bean extract and a bunch of other stuff to like wake you up. And it's a protein supplement. Yeah, it's pretty dope. And then they have a PM supplement that you mix up after a workout at night, and it's got melatonin. It's got valerian in it. It's got a bunch of other stuff in it to help you go to sleep. Fucking some great products. You guys can save 15% by using the promo code, again, Chaos FNX at checkout for every item purchased through phoenixfit.com. Not just every order, but every item. So if you guys order anything and use my code, if you get 3 or 4 items, they're going to donate a gallon per item to someone in need, be it here in the United States or all over the world. They dropped the statistic that like 11 million people here in the United States alone don't have access to clean drinking water. Over, I believe it's 600 million people worldwide or some crazy statistic like that don't have access to like clean water and sanitation. So Phoenix Fit tries to give back, and they've already donated over like 600,000 gallons of water to people that need it. So awesome. Yeah, it's pretty dope. And that's every item. So you get 2 items, 3 items, 4, it doesn't matter. They're donating a gallon of water to someone in need. You guys can check it out at phoenixfit.com, learn more about the Live program, which is going to be that program I just mentioned, and save yourself some money on some awesome products. Chaos FNX is the promo code. phoenixfit.com is the website. Go get yourself some. All right, man. Well, you can also check out our other podcast, I Hate the Scene, at every Friday live here on Facebook, YouTube, and all that good stuff too. We cover music, pop culture, and all that shit. So if you like me and Jordan, you can check us out there as well.
And a ton of shit talking.
And my friend Matt, who for sure was at the Capitol riot on January 6th. But
oh my God.
Anyways.
Wow.
So this is
he to defend himself that he wasn't either, which is fucking.
Find out more Friday night, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. I might be late this Friday, by the way. It's my wife's birthday, and we're doing a bunch of different shit throughout the week. But Friday night, I might appear I might make a late entrance, a late run-in on the show.
It's all right. Fashionably late.
It's how I like to do it, man. All right. So a review of UFC 273, Jordan. Yeah, man, this thing was intense. We made some right predictions. We made some accurate and some not so accurate predictions. We're primarily in line with a lot of the things we said, man. Like I said, Jacksonville, Florida. Let's start from the top of the marquee. Alexander Volkanovski, the featherweight champion of the world, defeats our boy Korean Zombie Chan Sung Jung round 4 TKO in what I would consider to probably be his best performance to date, and a completely one-sided affair, unfortunately.
Absolutely dismantled him.
What was your takeaway?
He beat him to the point he actually looked like a zombie. Like, beat the shit. Yep. Like, I seen people online saying that the corner should have stopped it. There should have been a corner stoppage, which is like, I mean, I don't really have a take on whether I agree or disagree with that or not, because, like, I feel like that was a great stoppage by Herb Dean. Like, he gave him a chance to come back, because, I mean, like, for what it's worth, Zombie is a great fighter. He can take a lot of fucking damage, but man, this guy, I mean, we got to really start putting him in the conversation of greatest featherweight of all time. Like, we really got to start having that conversation. But who in the division is going to compete with this guy? Like, that's my question on all of this. For my takeaway from this fight is, who can actually compete with this guy?
That I don't know. That is something that, okay, I'm going to parking lot that question, and we're going to go who's next. First, I asked you a little bit earlier before we went live, what do you think led to Volkanovski's victory here? What do you think is, obviously, other than him being the best in the featherweight division, but what tactically do you think he did that made the fight happen the way that it did? And what was your main takeaway from it, outside of that he is still the best? Like, did you see anything that was maybe a hole in his game? Obviously there wasn't, but did you see anything that maybe he lacked in this fight that he had in other fights? Did you see something he emphasized this fight that you haven't seen before? What did he do to get it done? And what did you notice?
No, man. First off, he's just letting his hands go. I mean, he is boxing. He boxed him up.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I think really what it just comes down to is, this dude is very smart in his preparation. He goes out and executes his game plan every time, and it doesn't matter how it's got to get done. He's going to get it done. It's just he beats everybody. Sometimes at their own game. I mean, shit, he fucking boxed Holloway. Like,
so we mentioned it. He did, and we mentioned it all throughout last week that he's great at creating those angles and doing like that bum rush boxing, like you were saying, right, and really stopping people's momentum. And he picks up their rhythm and he stops their momentum, and he does so with this in and out, very accurate, high pace striking that he does, and he obviously threw that on this entire fight. You know, it was a lot of this. It was a lot of zombie throwing and a lot of his face just getting mangled and contorted. And like you said, he did look like a zombie come the end of the fight. This is just some early damage that he was wearing right there. But for the most part, he didn't fare well whatsoever. He was slow. You know, he obviously has guts and grit and didn't go out lightly. As you kind of prefaced, there was some talk of the corner stopping it. I really want to point out her being in that situation. Those not familiar with MMA and the way that the stoppage was, he was looking at Zombie between rounds 3 and 4 and was paying attention to him. And I think even asked, the doctor was in there for a brief second, right? But he even asked, are you sure you can? And he shook his head or whatever. And I don't know if he actually didn't ask, are you sure? He asked Korean Zombie if you were okay. Of course, Zombie's going to say yes. But they didn't really touch on this much, but between 3rd and 4th round, Volkanovski looks at Korean Zombie and goes, "Are you sure?" And Zombie shakes his head yes. And Volk goes, "Okay." And they go out there. And they go out, they touch hands, and they fucking go. He asks him in the cage, "Are you sure?" And fucking Zombie complies, and they go. So Volk knew going into the 4th round, kind of like the Adesanya, I'm ready to die. I'm ready to die going into here. We're going to really talk about that later during the Hamzat Burns fight. But that was a level that Volkanovski got to tonight that was very apparent, where he said, I'm going to draw the line here. You have a chance. Do you want to take it, or do you want to, like, what are we doing here? He complied. All right. And within what? I think it was 45 seconds, 47 seconds. He and Herb Dean stopped it mid-strike. Like, he had pieced him up with a good 3, maybe a 4-piece combo, and Herb Dean said, "No, you can't do it." And that's just what it was all fight. It was him getting shot, no reaction. He hit Volkanovski a couple times, couple good leg kicks early on, but outside of that, he was just in there trying to keep up, and he couldn't. And unfortunately, unfortunately for Zombie, he wasn't able to win. But fortunate for Volkanovski, he cements himself as the reigning, obviously featherweight king. He might be up there even higher on the pound for pound list. He looked phenomenal. People are saying perfect performance. My big thing, again, a masterclass at his game plan, which is to get people off of their rhythm and then barrage them with, again, technical striking, angles, great head movement. He's got a great chin. He's just got a great combination of just so many things. And he's no doubt the best in the featherweight division. Obviously, I think what's next is what is also the biggest takeaway from this fight is he's clearly decimated everybody in that division that's worth a note. That being Brian Ortega, Max Holloway. You can maybe throw in, no, we'll keep it there. The people you have below them are going to be, I believe, Calvin Kattar. Let me pull up the featherweight rankings real quick.
Yair Rodriguez is obviously in there at some point if he keeps winning. Like, if he comes back, keeps his comeback going.
This is fucking stupid because it's not the UFC one. Not the UFC one, thank you. So featherweight is going to be Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway 1, Brian Ortega, Yair Rodriguez, Chan Sung Jun, Calvin Kattar, Arnold Allen, Josh Emmett, Giga Chikadze, Brian Mitchell, Danny Gay. So you're looking at Brian Ortega, who just came off a loss of Volk, Max Holloway, 2 losses, but he just came off a dismantling of Calvin Kattar. Calvin Kattar, coming off the Max Holloway loss, just gave a beating to Giga Chikadze, who has decimated everybody else in front of him. Yeah. Josh Emmett is on a tear, sitting at number 7, one above Giga Chikadze, but he hasn't fought in almost a year and a half, and I believe he's lost some of his steam. Arnold Allen is just thrown in there completely in the mix and is basically juggling wins and losses after a streak or two.
He
I
just
mean,
fucked Dan Hooker up.
yeah, he did. And Yair Rodriguez took some time off, came back and has looked really good, beat Chan Sung Jung, lost to Max Holloway, right? Yeah, Max Holloway fucked him up. So everybody below Holloway and Ortega, who Volk has already beat, is sitting at this. We're juggling wins back and forth. So there's no clear top heap of the division that's really standing out to compete against Volk. I haven't really heard anybody talk about this. Is it potential that maybe he goes up looking at the Oliveira Gaethje fight and maybe see some money and some greener pastures over there? We could throw him a new name in Calvin Kattar or a Josh Emmett or a Yair Rodriguez, maybe. We could throw him a name potentially, But I mean, ultimately, outside of the Max Holloway fight, what are we doing? Who's he facing?
That's the fight. Honestly, like, not for nothing, like the UFC loves selling fights, and if you're willing to give me Figueiredo and Moreno a fourth time, you better be willing to give me a fucking Holloway Volkanovski 3. Like, you have to, because not for nothing, the second fight was a split decision. A lot of people think Holloway actually won that fight. So, I mean, I seen even on the post show, I can't even remember who said it, and they were like, wouldn't you in your head want to go beat that guy decisively and just end all the talk?
Yeah.
I mean, and like, not for nothing, we know that the UFC knows that fight is going to sell. Like, everybody knows. Like, Volkanovski is prime time. Like, everybody that watches these events knows that he is elite. Like, he's almost probably GOAT level. And everybody who watches the fight knows what Max Holloway is about. Let's go. Run it back. Let's see it.
Yeah, that's kind of where my point lies.
If you win that one, shit, go do whatever the fuck you want. Go down, go up. It doesn't even matter at this point.
He goes in there and he starches Max Holloway, or not starches Max Holloway, but he beats Max Holloway for a third time. I mean, his only options are to take at that point new names or to go up and wait, right? That isn't to discount Max Holloway. I think Max Holloway has a great chance at definitely winning the belt again. Now, best Max Holloway, which is him piecing up Calvin Kattar, a year and a half ago, versus
that was the craziest performance I've ever gotten to watch, like a fight. That's crazy.
I feel like getting up to that point, we've seen Max at like Super Saiyan full potential when he's fucking up Brian Ortega and telling him what he's doing wrong, right? When he's fucking up Jose Aldo and making it a point to like, yo, I'm the new king, whatever it is, right? This is my division. Whatever stance he's making, we've seen Max Holloway draw the line with fucking Ricardo Lamas and say, right here, let's go. Whatever that Super Saiyan level is, we saw the like neon blue Super Saiyan when he fucked up Calvin Kattar, right? That was his ultimate like level. That was a new level of Max Holloway where we're like, okay, this is something different. This is someone who was the king, was the best, went back, worked on something, and has something that's very clear right here, right? With that being said, the performance of Volkanovski during the Ortega fight mixed with what we got from the Korean Zombie fight last night shows him at the Super Saiyan level, and I don't know which one's going to win when they meet again. If we get both those Super Saiyans matched up, because
there are just go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go for it, because I think my washer's squeaking. I'm going to shut my door. So just give me a sec. Go.
Okay, no, you're good.
Go with what you're saying.
So there are just certain fights that we just have to get a trilogy of. Just plain and simple. You gave us Figueiredo Moreno 3. We are probably going to, at some point, get Adesanya Whitaker 3. I would imagine at some point. I can't imagine that not happening. Just because Adesanya is honestly on a level and Whitaker is, probably in between and then there's everybody else. Usman Covington 3. We're probably gonna get that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just things that it's just certain fights we have to get. We have to have this one. There's nobody else. There is nobody else. And all of that new blood that you have in the featherweight division, you know, the Arnold Allens and all them, let those dudes fight. Like, let Korean Zombie fight Arnold Allen.
Yeah, they make sense. Those maneuvers are like it's a definite match to make. Let the rest of the division kind of weed itself out. Let the rest of the division figure itself out and work itself through the weeds and really pit the hey, this is the next guy that can rattle the 3 or 4 wins together and actually claim a title shot, because Volkanovski's probably going to want to cement some sort of legacy past a max fight. He's probably going to want to take on all comers and really say he sees some interesting fights. We don't know who's going to emerge either, right? We don't know who's going to come in and blow the lid off the fucking place. So it's really just a matter of sit back, watch what happens, and just hope that we get whatever culmination of Max and Volk that has shown themselves in these last couple of fights between them, or with them rather, and between them we actually get a definitive on you know, who's better.
Like,
I mean, and I don't know how to call it.
Shitty
I don't know how to call it.
Would you feel? How shitty do you feel as Alexander Volkanovski to just be on the run, the tear that you are on, and there's still slivers of doubt in people's mind, like, nah, Max Holloway is the best featherweight of all time type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's still that out there. Like, it's like, damn, what do I have to do? You got to go out there and beat him a third time, man. You got to go out there and beat him the third time. Like,
that's a valid point. That is a valid point.
It just is what it is.
Yeah, because you haven't done it yet. I mean, no. You have. It's a fair point. I do think people are thinking that. Although after last night, you kind of have to give him a fair shake in the sense that Max Holloway has to be nothing short of perfect come their fight night, because Volkanovski perfect is fucking real dangerous. Real dangerous.
He's just different. He just prepares
I'm
different. He's just
different.
Elite.
Have you seen that video? The dude that breaks the egg. I'm built different.
Yeah.
And it's that fucking little nerd kid. I'm built different.
So,
all right. Co-main event.
My big fight. And what a shocker. We have controversy in all of this. Let's get into it. This is going to be wild.
Go for it.
Man, was I wrong? But I did say, now I texted you that you were like, you said that. I said, no. But I did say, and maybe I didn't because I have the shittiest memory ever, that if Aljo wins this fight, he's going to do it on the ground.
You did.
He won that fight, dude. He manhandled Petr Yan.
Okay.
Crazy shit, dude.
Yes. So, okay. Hold on, I gotta pull up this graphic. But yes, you did say that, but it was in the context of like there's no chance other than him having like some miraculous, like you didn't say miraculous, but there basically wasn't a chance unless we had like a ground battle and he was able to catch, Petr, and he definitely won it on the ground. But this is where I wasn't necessarily calling you out. What I was saying is, hey, we didn't see this coming, did we?
I'm talking shit.
And no, I know. But to your point, you did call it, and it was a matter of last night's conversation being more of like a wow, we didn't really see this coming, and it came out of left field, but it also was like the perfect game plan. And we were talking about Ray Longo building game plans and how he had Weidman and how he had fucking Matt Serra, and that's what he does. And like this just approach to a style and a game plan. And I think that was obviously put into work, but he didn't necessarily win the fight there. Like that was where he had his strengths. And that's where the majority of the fight took place in the moments that mattered, because he neutralized Petr Yan and didn't allow him to get any form of offense. But the minute the roles were reversed and Yan was able to mount an offense, Sterling wasn't able to get that back. Mm-mm. And I think that really paints a picture of why is there... He won, and I went back and I watched it today, and this is how fucked up I was on this. Granted, I was also kind of fucked up last night, but
Do you think Aljo won?
Dude, I had it a draw, and here's why I had it a draw.
A
First round,
draw.
listen, first round, Petr Yan. Okay, and I'll
That's what
explain
I
why.
said.
I'll explain why. Yeah, I'll explain why. Second round, 10-8 Sterling. Third round, 10-9 Sterling. Fourth, fifth round, 10-9 Yan. Now, going back and watching it, I can see why they gave it to Sterling, and I made the comment last night. Piotr only looked effective when he was pressing Sterling against the cage. And in those moments, he would get shots off and like ambush Sterling. But a lot of them were hitting shoulders. A lot of them were kind of grazing, and Sterling didn't look effective. The minute Sterling could get to the center of the cage, he would start throwing kicks and punches, and a lot of them did land. And so the perception of the first round is at least for me, you have a Piotr Yan that was very calculated in his pressure, but was when he had him, he would just swing and he wasn't being calculated. So it looked like he was doing a lot and maybe getting some damage in there, but a lot of it didn't hit. Go back and watch. Whereas when the roles are reversed, Sterling, when he's being active in the center of the cage, he hits a jab, he'll hit a leg kick, he maybe does a 1-2, maybe 3-punch combo, 1 hits, 2 hits, but they hit, and maybe they're few and far between. And I think Yan even did outstrike him round 1. But point being, it was a matter of perception in what you thought was actually happening. And I went back and I looked, and I could see why they would give it to Sterling in the sense that he got off shots that looked clean, where Yan just looked like he had cage control, and that was it. What happened in the 4th and 5th round, Yan got back that cage control, but then he turned it up with his offense. And he was more calculated in that he wasn't, Sterling was throwing lazy shots, and I think it was just to get Yan reactive and maybe even to get his back again because he thought Yan couldn't defend well, right, given the 2nd and 3rd round. But he was getting kind of weak with the shots, I thought, shooting from weird distances, and Yan was able to defend, and he was up a couple notches because he wanted to win and he knew he probably had to finish. So he was really pressing the pace, and it took Aljo out of his game. And I can definitely see why people were contesting it, although after going back and watching it, yeah, having a 10-8 second round and then a 10-9 third and then a 10-9 first, Aljo clearly wins, right? Especially with that 10-8. Now, a lot of people are saying that's not an accurate 10-8 because there wasn't enough submission aggression. There wasn't enough going for the submission or chaining submissions together or almost having it. Had he had a little bit more of that action in the submission game, I guess, and I'm putting air quotes here because I don't know what the official rules are, but that's what a lot of people are echoing today, he would have had a 10-8 because he didn't have all of that additional submission progression. He was only given a 10-9, which is why it was, a standard 10-9. But a lot of people did think that 10-8 was warranted. I was one of them, and that's what I gave it to the first time. Watching it the second time and then hearing their definition of it the second time, okay, 10-9 round. It still goes to Sterling. But that 10-9 round going to Yan round 1, and then that second round not being a 10-8 round, then it's Yan's fight. With it being a 10-8 round as a draw. And that's how I had initially had it. That's how I thought it was going to. And I was like, man, you can't do this again. You can't have the first fight be a controversy and then a fucking draw. A draw? Are you kidding me? People are going to shit themselves.
Shit? Oh,
bro,
my God. We have
to
have a third one.
Oh, of course. We have to have a third one now, I think. Not right away. Not a rematch right away.
Oh, we'll get one eventually.
We're getting one eventually, though. We have to because it's bad blood. It's a great story. And yeah, this was a split decision. A split. He didn't get a unanimous. It was a split.
The boss man doesn't even think that you won.
Yeah, dude, that's another crazy
publicly, thing. Dana White doesn't ever say anything about that stuff. Really, not
unless
much.
It's completely egregious. Yeah, he doesn't. He'll mention if it's completely egregious or he thinks it's a wrong call. This one, I was like, oh, it's a draw for sure. And so when they gave it to him, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't mad at it at all. I think Aljo did a great job. I tried downloading the picture, but because it's a video, but he put up that sorry, Aljo, this is why I didn't believe you application. And it was on his Instagram. Did you see it?
No.
I'm going to try to get a picture of this shit. What were your thoughts? What were your takeaways from that fight? And what do you take away from his groundwork? And yeah, what do you take from the fight? Let's hear it.
I mean, we already knew that Aljo had elite groundwork. I mean, what he did to Sandhagen was unheard of. So, we already knew it. It was just a matter of was he going to bring this for Piotr, and was Piotr going to bring it all. Bring his game. I do wonder if not. I don't know who those dudes that were in his quarter.
I don't either.
So,
Yeah.
like, did he? Does him not having his planned corner have anything to do with anything? Does that make a difference?
Oh, I'm sure it
And
does. I'm sure that there's
and
some
now,
mental grasp
like,
there.
dude, like, I mean, now Aljo's healthy, like his neck's all good and everything. Like, man, that's scary for everybody else, man. So I mean, I'm excited to see what's gonna happen, but I would love to see Aljamain Yawn 3 with like no problems. Everyone have you got his coaches and all that. Like, let's make that happen.
I
That'd be
mean,
great.
I feel like we could get that. I feel like we could get some sort of rematch hyped up, especially. I mean, Aljo has to defend against somebody else. I think that that's fair. You know, Petr was off. Well, he was off his game. He was off his game, and he looked it for those 2 rounds for sure. Absolutely, the fourth and fifth rounds kind of came off as desperation rounds. Obviously, he's trying to win the fight. Obviously, he's going to be desperate. But I mean, you could tell that he was in his mind behind, and he was just his sense of urgency was there, but was he being effective with it? Not necessarily. And that really does come down to that line that people like to draw. Well, did you beat the champ? No. Well, okay, bummer. Sorry, you didn't beat the
And
champ, so
you
I
know
guess
what?
it doesn't count.
That's a big thing too. Like, that's for like in the case of that fight. I'm a very big believer in, if you want to be the champ, you have to beat the champ. Like, they say that all the time. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big thing. Like, that's why everyone's like, well, why about with like even Whitaker Izzy too? They were like, well, Whitaker won that fight. It's like, he didn't really beat Izzy. You gotta beat the champ.
Yeah.
And like, Jan didn't really beat Aljo. Like, he might want to. You didn't decisively take the belt, so
You
can't leave it up to
didn't.
doubt.
You didn't.
Can't.
And I feel like it's not necessarily a case where it was that egregious of, oh, well, you didn't beat the champ, you can't really do much
No.
about it, yada yada. We're like, no, it's not the case. All right, it was still a good fight. It was still something that was, entertaining. Obviously, it was very competitive at times, and
Yeah.
if anything, it showed how good both of them are in those times where like Aljo had a point to prove, came out heavy hearted, heavy handed, and like really implemented a smart tactical game plan.
Oh yeah.
And it caught Jan off guard. And in that, Jan had to respond, and Jan had to basically act on the fly. And what did he do? He did so accordingly. I mean, it's not, necessarily a bad performance. Now, you know, it wasn't his best. And he you could tell that it was coming from a place where he was behind. And ultimately and unfortunately, again, you didn't get it done. Again, it shows Aljo is a great competitor. He does have a skill set that people aren't really prepared for. All this shit about how he fucking no gas tank and how he doesn't have he's not skilled, or he lacks a strong skill set, or how he's a journeyman and he's had this, kind of eclectic background, or not eclectic background, but the sporadic background of wins, losses, not any real
Mm.
strong points. Like, you're okay, all that aside, he's also able to build a skill set, and he's also able to implement a very, very solid game plan that him and his team obviously worked very hard on. And he didn't let the mind games get to him. You know how many people fold under pressure, especially with all these fucking trolls online? And I heard a quote today,
Oh yeah.
and we didn't think he would do it, right? I thought Petr was going to win, plain and simple. But that
Yeah,
doesn't
me
mean we can
too.
discount everything Aljo has done. And I heard a quote today that said, Aljo paid for Petter's foul. And that's true, man. Petter was the one that was in the wrong. He initially threw the foul in the first fight, and everybody attacked Aljo for it, which is
Yeah.
crazy to think about. And he went into this rematch really with the fucking bullseye on him, and he was able to get it done and prove everybody wrong just for the moment. And I want to see him fight Dillashaw. I want to see him fight Sandhagen again. I want to
Mm-hmm.
see him in this bantamweight division as champion, because I think he went through it. And yeah, Piotr was not, in my mind, robbed of a victory at all.
No. No, I don't think he was robbed. I don't think there was any robbery. It's just it's just it depends on how you viewed the fight.
Got one for you. Hopefully Hopefully it works. But Aljo put this up on his Instagram today. And I implore all of you to head over to his Instagram and take this application that he is so diligently trying to get us to fill out. Look at that shit, son. The Aljo Sterling apology form. Reason for behavior. The media convinced me he was done. I didn't watch his actual fights. I only looked at advanced analytics. I don't know MMA. Mercury was in retrograde. I was jealous of Aljamain Sterling. I will hereby respect Aljamain Sterling, and I will not. I didn't get the rest of it, but yeah, he's basically.
Can I just have an other and just say that I just thought Piotr Yam's better? Like,
I know, but you know,
that's all.
Nobody in the MMA ethos of the internet especially is coming at Aljo and going, you know what, Aljo, you're really good, but he's just a little better than you, man. That's just what it is. No, they're going, you're a bitch, bro. Your head hurt. Oh, here's some Tylenol. They're fucking with him, dude.
Yeah.
And so he's fucking.
It's like it's not even any of them. I'm not even trying to hate. I just like.
Oh, there's haters out there, bro. There were people hating on him, unfortunately.
Oh, huge facts. That's because everyone just be hating in general, man. People are just fucking miserable.
All right, man.
And just think they can pick on celebrities and rich people because they don't have feelings.
The fuck do you think you are? I'm just gonna put a. Why did none of these?
Are we moving on? Are we moving on to the people's main event?
Let's go, baby. I don't know why I've saved 3 or 4 pictures, but
shit.
Yeah,
we could have done a whole fucking episode maybe about this one. This shit was insane. Uh-oh, we lost Brian. Oh no! Right when we got to the best part. Right when we get to the best part. Oh man, we are about to get into Gilbert Burns and Khamzat Chimaev when he gets back, because this shit was insane. Definitely the fight of the year so far, potentially going to be the fight of the year, because I don't know how it gets much better than that, everyone. That was an absolute slugfest. The man got tested, and I think we may have a legitimate title contender on our hands here. We lost Brian. See what happened here. Oh shit. Brian said power surge. This man got hit with the power surge. Oh, that's out of control. That's super funny. Oh man. Unbelievable. Man.
Have you been here the whole time?
Yeah, I was sitting here. Yeah, I was talking a little bit. I was just trying to, I was kind of setting the stage for what we were doing.
Oh my God. I fucking a power surge or something. We go to talk. Okay, I'm so glad that you were live. Okay, fuck yeah, dude. I thought we lost you. Okay, cool. Dude, I was so nervous. I'm like, how am I going to edit this fucking together? Am I even going to have the audio for it? Oh, no.
I set the stage for the potential fight of the year that we are about to talk about.
Oh man, yeah. Give me a sec. You can still hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay,
I can't
cool,
see
cool.
you. All I see is Common Chaos logo, but I can still hear you.
I'm getting my. Yeah, dude. I don't know what I fucking my breaker right now. I don't know what the fuck that was. What the fuck? I do have a lot of shit going on right now, but I didn't think it was like fucking with my. There we go.
That is out of control.
Dude, we start talking about Hamza, and all of a sudden, shit goes out. Shit
Yeah,
goes
just
whack.
boom. Your power surge said smish.
Oh, dude, I'm so
Power
glad that
smish.
I'm so glad that you stayed though. Okay, cool, perfect. Well, yeah. So, okay, back. Sorry, folks.
I wasn't jumping off the ship until somebody was like, "Hey, we're done." And I was gonna be like, "All right, well, that's the end of the episode, guys. Sorry, we don't know what we're doing here."
Bye bye.
Game hasn't been called on account of rain yet. Yeah, dude. Oh my god, this was an absolute slugfest. Fucking back alley brawl type shit. I thought I was about to watch a wrestling versus jiu-jitsu match, and I got barely any of that. This was a stand-up, punch each other in the face, and man, Brian, go ahead, take the fucking floor. I'm out of words, man. Like I'm speechless right now because, wow, like when you watch Gaethje and Chandler, like you were watching them just beat the shit out of each other, and you're just like, man, I know I'm watching like a potential Hall of Fame fight. You knew that was like that. The night that they were putting the Cub Swanson fight into
yeah, dude, shout out to
the Hall of Fame, we got to watch that. That's what that was going to be. We're going to be able to say that we watched that. Man, just fucking crazy, dude.
So as a real quick just shout out to Cub Swanson. He am I coming in okay? I don't feel like.
No, you're good. You're good. Except we just lost you again. No. Damn. This shit is going crazy right now. It's a shout out Cub Swanson power outage. There you are. I see you.
All right. Okay.
Boom.
Sorry, guys. McDonald's Wi-Fi. Russia's hacking in. I don't know what.
Oh my god, it's going gnarly over there.
Anyways, yeah, we've got Hamzat defeating Gilbert Burns. You could have told me that this fight was going to be a wrestling versus jiu-jitsu match. You could have told me it was going to be boxing versus jiu-jitsu. You could have told me that it was going to be boxing versus boxing. All of the above. I would have never guessed that it would have been 3 rounds of just this climax of just back and forth nonsense. They completely, I think, abandoned any sort of relevant grappling game plan they had outside of just trying to get the other down for the sake of violence. And we saw Hamzat and Gilbert, I both get takedowns and knockdowns. They were fucking bloody messes. My shit crashed, so I lost all the blood and gore photos that I had, but you can see them all over the internet right now. They were both a brutal fucking mess. Hamzat went live today on Instagram, has a fucking stitches across his cheek. Gilbert Burns was literally in a fight for his life. He hit Hamzat with some of the hardest punches I've ever seen Gilbert throw. Hamzat, what else can you say about him? He's a fucking tank. He took it in stride and came back and kept giving it. Clearly won. It was a unanimous decision. I think Gilbert Burns really only had the second round, and that's where he fucking rocked Hamzat, dropped him at one point, caught him with several clean, good, hard shots, busted his face up, knocked him down on the ground, was able to keep him off of him on the ground, had a very solid round, but ultimately Hamzat, first and third round, just had control, got a couple knockdowns, several takedowns in there. It showed that Hamzat can be defeated. He is beatable. It just is going to take a certain someone special. Gilbert Burns was obviously pushed to the brink and I think had, probably the fight of his life, man. And afterwards, when a fighter goes in and thanks their entire family, coaching staff, and all he can say is that you can't fucking kill me and I'm a fighter. And it's very straight to the point and simple on the post interview, right? Post fight interview. It's, that he's coming from a place of just his core being exposed. And you only get that when you're almost beat to death, right? And those two guys were just fucking...
Wow.
I mean, fight of the year so far. It's probably going to be fight of the year at the end of it. I mean, shout out to Cub Swanson, which I was going to say a second ago. You know, I've had the privilege and the honor of training with Cub for a couple of years before I moved out here. And, you know, he's a fucking great guy and deserves every bit and piece of recognition he gets in what he does for people in the valley where we're from and all around just Southern California, his family, his people. He's a great guy and he deserves every bit of recognition. And him and Doo-Ho Choi's fight getting inducted into the fighter wing or the fight wing of the UFC Hall of Fame, where they honor fucking great battles, gladiator battles. He was definitely in one of them. This is going to be added to that, man. This Khamzat Burns fight is a legendary fight. And, you know, I originally said I didn't like the Colby Khamzat idea if Khamzat came in and starched Gilbert, which a lot of people thought that could happen, right? I didn't. I thought Gilbert Burns could win. But everybody went Khamzat, you know, and I think that even with the Gilbert slant, everybody expected him to at least show that Khamzat was otherworldly or human, and he's definitely more human, right? Gilbert definitely brought it, and that was one of the best versions of Gilbert we've probably seen. But I also think that there was some skill thrown out the window. I also think that it was at one point turned to blood and guts brawl. We saw Khamzat's coach yell at him in between rounds because he wasn't wrestling. He abandoned the wrestling smash that he likes to do for this brawling style. And, you know, you could tell that that was the cadence come midway of the second round, and they weren't really turning back. They weren't really going to go back on their fucking fundamentals.
I think he tried to get some wrestling in there, and then he realized, like, Gilbert's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. And
kicked him off of him twice.
He even said in the post-fight thing, he said, I went down, he said, I don't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
Like, because he is elite at that stuff. That's why I am all about Khamzat Colby Covington.
Yes.
I need all of that because that is elite wrestler versus elite wrestler, and we get to see how that goes. The problem is I think Khamzat will outstrike Colby, and I think he will beat the dog piss out of Colby Covington.
See, a lot of people are saying that it's going to be competitive, and I'm in your camp. I don't think Colby has this kind of... I don't know if Kamaru Usman has this kind of slowdown pressure, because don't forget, Gilbert Burns also dropped Kamaru, right? Gilbert Burns put Kamaru on his ass and was very close to winning that fight in that moment. And, you know, that's not to say Khamzat can't be beat by Kamaru. Kamaru can definitely beat him. And I actually probably in my mind really favored Kamaru in a match against him now. In a couple of years, I don't know. In a couple of years, I don't know what the hell Khamzat's going to do.
I can't bet against him. Man. He's just a beast.
I don't even want to acknowledge Khamzat going to 185 because that's just feed me all that mess. Feed me it. Him and Whitaker, yes. Him and fucking Marvin Vettori, yes. Him and Paulo Costa, yes. Him and Adesanya, yes. Want me to keep going?
Him and Izzy.
Him and Jack Hermanson, yes.
Him and Izzy.
Him and Kelvin Gastelum, yes.
Fucking insane, dude.
Everybody, dude. Everybody.
Can you imagine Khamzat and Sean Strickland?
Oh my God, I didn't even think about Sean Strickland. Khamzat and Sean Strickland. How did I forget about him? Khamzat and fucking Derek Brunson. Khamzat and fucking Jared Cannonier.
Chimaev and Sean Strickland would be an absolute bloodbath.
Fuck, dude. I don't even want to talk about
God.
it. It's so annoying because we got to get through this fucking welterweight. Yeah, we got to get in this. And so, welterweight, you got to give him Colby. I think he smashes Colby, unfortunately, but that's going to be such a hype fight. That fight's going to be so rowdy and so much shit.
Oh my God, the press conference for that is going to be insane. It's just going to be him calling him cum shot the whole time.
Wow, watch them fucking make that an interim title fight for no fucking reason. That'd be boring. Anyways, And for Gilbert Burns, I mean, he's still a very active welterweight, obviously. He's gonna only drop to number 4. What does Khamzat get? Does Khamzat really take number 2? He doesn't, right?
Yeah, man.
Does he?
I'd like to say everybody. No, but dude,
I mean, you can't leave Gilbert Burns there, but you can't rightfully put anybody ahead of him.
I think they're fast tracking this kid, man.
Well,
They're
obviously,
fast tracking
yeah.
him. They want him. They want him there.
Well,
Because I mean,
did you hear the so not to cut you off, but actually Gilbert
no, you're good.
Burns asked for this fight. He texted Dana White and asked for the fight personally or something. And Luke Thomas, those guys I told you to listen to, the Morning Combat guys, they
Yeah,
interviewed him at his gym, his camp, and they interviewed him in his cage, and he showed them the text messages. And they were like, "Whoa." They were blown away. They were like, "You fucking animal! You asked for." He really went to Dana and said, "I want the Hamzat fight," when they gave it to him.
because
So
like
that was him going for Hamzat. That's crazy to think about. So he put his number 2 on the line, going for that heat. He wanted all that smoke, and you know, Hamzat
because
fucking did it.
everybody wants to know if he's legit, including
He
the
showed up.
fighters.
He showed up.
The fighters want to know if this dude is the real fucking deal, and he is.
I don't know if
But
Colby said anything either.
he didn't steamroll Gilbert. Colby got other problems right now. Colby can't even go to steakhouses and enjoy himself right now.
Oh
He
damn,
gotta
son.
chill.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude. Like it's it was great, man. I just can't believe we got a fight of the year that and it's April. You know what I mean? Like if we get one better than that, I'm gonna be sick. Like that's gonna be too good. But yeah, man, great,
Yeah,
great.
Colby hasn't said anything on social media, so that makes me think that he's a little weary of that. I'd expect if Colby's willing to sell, maybe he might be still caught up in the Masvidal thing. But in my head, if Colby wants to sell a fight, and he loves selling fights, he goes, "All
He
right, come
does.
shot." He goes, "All right, come shot. Now what?" And posts like a picture of him with the American flag or some shit. And then like, because you know that's what people want, and that's what the talk
Great
was from
nerds and
Dana.
virgins.
Yeah, right. Fuck, dude. Yeah. All right, so Hamzat, he's to tank a shorter smash. He's getting Colby. The boss already said it, barring some
Yep.
weird intervention of some kind. Colby Covington and Hamzat Shemaev is probably going to be booked. I mean, shortly after the Kamaru Leon Edwards fight, which is also a great fucking fight. Let's not
Oh
forget Leon
yeah.
Edwards and Hamzat, Leon Edwards and Gilbert Burns, Leon Edwards and Colby Covington. Can these divisions just get any fucking better,
Who
man?
is it? Who do you think Gilbert fights after this? Because like I mean like
Dude, I was
how
looking at
far
that.
down does Gilbert really fall?
You know, he can't fall. He can't fall that far. Plain and simple, dude. Because he's you. I mean, you definitely have to put Hamzat up there. They haven't updated him. Obviously, they don't update him until mid Monday. But you can't. You can't put anybody ahead of Gilbert Burns outside of Hamzat, and he's sitting at number 2. Maybe by virtue of Leon Edwards being in the title fight versus Kamaru Usman, you maybe move him to number 2, and you put Hamzat at 3, Gilbert at 4. That might be the move. You move Leon Edwards up by virtue of the title fight because he's already in it, and you put him at number 2, fighting Kamaru Usman. Hamzat gets number 3. He still has to fight Colby at number 1, and then you put Gilbert Burns at 4. Vicente Luque goes from 4 to 5. Bilal Muhammad, who's fighting Vicente Luque this weekend, goes from 5 to 6, so on and so forth. I think that's how you do
I
it.
like that. Look, and we got Vicente Luque fighting.
I'm not the fucking
Saturday.
matchmaker. Yeah, fighting Bilal Muhammad, man. That's going to be a crazy fight. And then we've got Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman coming up in a couple months, man. That's a fucking bananas fight in that division. Charles Oliveira and homeboy Justin Gaethje. Isn't that's May 9th? When is that? May 7th, right? I'm pretty sure it's May 7th.
Yeah, it's May 7th.
So, all right. Some last couple takeaways from the fight card. Mackenzie Dern takes a split decision from Tisha Torres. Did you see her climb up that cage, dude?
Man, just
How crazy was that?
Just an absolute boa constrictor.
Yeah, bro, she's crazy.
Just man, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, she's crazy.
She's
crazy. Deserving of a title shot for sure. I know she was even critical of herself and said, "You know what? I'm not rushed into a title shot. I just want to get in the picture and prove that I'm worthy of it. And I think she definitely did by that performance last night. Although it was a split decision, Tisha Torres, I mean, she looked great, man. She defended very well, had great answers for Mackenzie Dern's relentless jiu-jitsu. Mackenzie Dern is a world-class jiu-jitsu practitioner.
Facts.
For those casuals. World-class jiu-jitsu is completely different than MMA jiu-jitsu. It doesn't always translate, but in the world of jiu-jitsu, there is none better. So they know exactly what they're doing when it goes to the ground and when it comes to the controls, the attacks, the defense, and the offense. That doesn't always mean that it's going to work and it's going to be better or it's going to prevail against their opponent. It just means that they have a world-class understanding of jiu-jitsu as a sport and as a fundamental martial art, and they execute it to near perfection, and Mackenzie Dern does so in almost every fight she's in some way. Even if she's losing, she has just a display of jiu-jitsu prowess that is not replicated at all in any female division that I'm aware of, and is, up on par with a lot in the men's division, if not among some of the best. Look at Gilbert Burns, probably one of the best in the welterweight division, world-class jiu-jitsu, world champion in jiu-jitsu alone.
Charles Oliveira
in the lightweight division, the most submission victories in UFC history. Fucking keep them coming. Like it's intense shit, and she's great, and she put on phenomenal display of it this weekend, and you guys should definitely check that out. She's another world, man. You wanted to talk about the Mickey Gall Michael Mallet fight, correct?
Oh my god, dude!
Great fight.
Knocked him the fuck out, bro.
I'm a Mickey Gall fan. I believe it was Mallet's debut, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
It was his debut, and I'm a Mickey Gall fan, and was hoping he would come away with a victory, but man, he got face planted. It's a highlight reel knockout for sure, sure.
And then not for that, all the post fight stuff about his coach's daughter getting cancer, and as he's walking, he does a post fight. He goes to, in the back and does the press conference of the post fight, and fans, they gave him an envelope of money. He said there could have been thousands of dollars in it. Yeah. And Dana White told him to keep his show money, and they're gonna give the $10,000. They're gonna pay for the $10,000. They're gonna match it, and I think they had a GoFundMe that they started. I think it said it raised $77,000 up to last night.
There's something to be said for moments like that, and people who take that 15 seconds or 30 seconds of fame with Joe Rogan to, whoever the post-fight interviewer is, to, stake their claim, and they can literally say and do whatever they want. And Mallet took a chance to just voice his concern and his care for a friend and for a family member. Yeah. And you could tell it was very heartfelt. His fuck cancer roar. That was emotion. That was a straight yell of emotion. I was like, oh damn, this guy is serious about this.
I mean, that's a sobering thing.
It's so touching, man. It's so touching to see someone be able to go up there and just not only put on a performance like that, but then composed and calm afterwards. Go, you know what? It's not even about this. It's about someone else who really needs it. And I made the comment of one of our friends maybe attending the January 6th riots, which may or may not be true, but there was probably several MMA fans and maybe a MMA fighter or two, looking at you, Pat Miletich, at the January 6th riots. And for as crazy as MMA fans can be at times, they obviously show up when their people need them, and that's good on those that were able to contribute. And yeah, if the GoFundMe and the stuff's still up and people can still contribute, definitely should do that. And it's good on Mike Mallet for not only a great performance, a highlight reel knockout in your UFC debut, but also to put another one ahead of you.
We were like, oh my god, it was terrible. Out of control.
And then Alexei Oleinik, fuck, man.
Wow. Yo.
Can he get any older and any more brutish?
Bro. I don't know. But all I know is Jared Vandera was huffing and puffing for his life.
Mm-hmm. And that comes after.
Did you see him? He was almost throwing. I think did he say he threw up in the ring?
Oh, he might have. I don't know.
He was dry heaving for sure. I don't know if he ended up throwing up, but dude, they showed him he was just on his knees, oh my god, it was crazy. Like I was like, bro, he like me and my friends were watching. We're like, dude, he's full blown purple,
Damn.
full blown.
Yeah, dude. And he hits that scarf choke out of nowhere. That's like
Yeah, man.
his 50th win, his 47th submission. His 47th submission victory in UFC, mind you, or in MMA. That is a fucking crazy thing to think about. He has 47 submission victories as a heavyweight. The heavyweights have always been kind of a contested, they're either good at jiu-jitsu or they're not, right? But you have some jiu-jitsu practitioners, Fabricio Verdun, Frank Mir, Big Nog, Little Nog. There are some good jiu-jitsu heavyweights out there. But
Aspinall looked like he got some good ground
oh
game,
yeah,
man.
yeah. Oh, I mean, you have to nowadays. You have, John Jones has submissions, light heavyweight too, right? John
Yeah,
Jones got some submissions on there.
John Jones coming to the heavyweight division.
Yeah, dude.
We could do it.
Yeah,
We could go into all that. Like we could do half of that. But we're already at a fucking hour.
yeah. We are.
Like,
We gotta get this shit going. Yeah, that was our preview, review, post cap, recap, whatever you want to call it, of UFC 273, working class violence version of the Common Chaos podcast. I appreciate everybody's support. You can check us out at commonchaos.net. You can also hit us up on Instagram and Twitter at the Common Chaos. Boom, Twitter, Instagram at the Common Chaos. You can also catch Jordan and myself on I Hate the Scene every Friday at 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern, and 8 p.m. Pacific. Is that right? It is right.
yes, sir.
So yeah, you can also get the podcast at commonchaos.net. That's right, beachies. And then I've also got my YouTube up officially. I need to hit 100 subscribers. I'm at like 12 or something because I literally just started it. But if you guys can give me a like, a follow, or a subscribe or whatever that is on YouTube, and I hit 100 followers, I can then change my channel to just YouTube/C/Common Chaos. So yeah, if you guys could do that, that'd be great. I'm also going to need you to come in over the weekend. Jordan, they can find you at Jordan Modro.
Yes,
As always on Instagram and Twitter. And again, guys, save yourself some shit on some supplements and use my promo codes. Support the podcast. Yeah, we didn't talk about something on I Hate the Scene that I wanted to bring up with you, but I forgot, man. So maybe if I think about it
on Friday.
Damn, I know. Well, no, we forgot to talk about it. It was something that we were going to bring up on this last episode and we glossed it over because we ended up talking about like Orange Julius's or something. All right, man. Appreciate you. I'll catch you on Friday.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody. Take care.